Welcome to the Little Sparks Podcast, your home for all things faith and music. I'm Cecilia.
And I'm Tara.
And we're former college roommates, professional musicians, and co-founders of the Hildegard Collective, a space for Catholic musicians to connect with one another and grow in their faith and profession. This podcast is an outreach of the collective, so if you're interested at all in Catholicism, music, or both, this is the podcast for you. Join us each week as we get real, share stories, and learn from other awesome Catholic musicians. We're all little sparks of God's divine creation, so together, let's ignite the world for Christ.
All right, welcome back, everybody, after such a long hiatus to season 6 of the Little Sparks podcast. We are so excited to be back with you today, introing season 6, talking a little bit about what you can expect in this upcoming season from us, and having a little chat about where we've been, what we've been up to. So much has happened since we last sat down to record, and we are so excited to be back doing it again. One of our favorite pastimes, Cecilia and I. So let's go season 6. Here we are.
Yay. I know it's been so long since we've put out a podcast episode. I think it was before I had my daughter at this point, which is crazy because she's 9 months old now. So that was a long hiatus. That was definitely the longest hiatus we've taken since starting the podcast. About, was it 3 years ago, I think?
Yeah, it was a very long hiatus, and I'm sure Lucy's coming into the world was probably the biggest change that's happened for either of us in that time.
Probably so.
Yeah, so we'll talk a little bit more about that. But yeah, do you want to start off this episode, Cecilia, by talking a little bit about this upcoming season of the podcast, what viewers can expect, and some of the things we're going to be talking about?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So basically when we were trying to figure out, the last few seasons we've had themes, we did moral theology last season, the season before that. I know season 3 was all about the Eucharist. And we were trying to figure out a theme for this season, and just nothing was sticking. So we decided that we were going to go the route of seasons 1 and 2 and just not have a theme and just kind of go where the Spirit leads us, And recently for the Hildegard Collective, we had our first annual Keep the Lights On fundraiser, which led up to the Feast of St. Hildegard. And we had a giveaway for anyone who donated to this campaign with a few sweet prizes. And one of those prizes was to choose a topic for a podcast episode for this season. And so our winner came back to us with some pretty cool ideas. And one of them was to do an episode about Halloween. And we decided to run with that. So while there isn't an official theme of the season, we are going to be weaving in some holiday themes within this season. So we're really excited. We're going to be doing a 2-parter coming up here for episodes 2 and 3. And that's going to be, the first one's going to be on Halloween and, quote unquote, spooky music within the history of music and that sort of stuff. We're really leaning into All Hallows Tide here as Catholics over, and then the second part of that, keeping with that kind of All Hallows Tide theme, is going to be talking about All Saints Day and All Souls Day and the importance of praying for, dead musicians and all that sort of stuff. And so we're really excited to be doing that 2-parter. And then later on, we realized when we were mapping out this season that we're going to be ending, during December. And we all know as musicians that December is the craziest time of the year for us. So we're going to be talking a bit about, the holidays and, how we can take care of ourselves as musicians during that absolutely insane time, and all of those sort of topics. So that's going to be really fun. So even though there's not a general theme for this season, we are going to be doing some holiday inspired episodes, and I am psyched about that.
Yeah. Is there any particular episode or particular topic that you're especially looking forward to?
I'm really looking forward to talking about All Souls Day and praying for dead musicians. I actually wrote a blog post about this last year. but it's something that I feel really strongly about, and I'm excited to dive into that topic. But I'm also excited to kind of dive into Christmas
Yeah.
and like leading up to Christmas. And maybe it's because I was watching Downton Abbey recently and it was like a Christmas special episode. And the big tree in the Abbey all lit up and like all of that. It's just in the Christmas carols and they're all singing Christmas carols together. And it was like October 6th when I was watching this. And I was like, no, this is too early. This is too early. But at the same time, I was like, I'm really ready for the holidays.
No, because all the musicians have started rehearsing Christmas music already, so it's not too early.
This is true. This is true. And I guess like thinking about it, I mean, I know like here in America we've got Thanksgiving in November. So really Halloween and like All Saints Day, All Souls Day, that All Hallows Tide kind of really feels like, at least for American Catholics, I think, the beginning of like the holiday season, because we have Thanksgiving right there, and then Advent and then Christmas and then New Year's, and it's like, just one big party after another, right? Um so I don't know. I think that I don't know. Between the whole like, rehearsing, we're already rehearsing for Christmas, and then also like, well, it is already October. It's October 10th when we're recording this, so it'll be October 13th when we drop this. And All Hallows Tide is like 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
So we're launching into things. I was actually just tagging on to that. I was reading a essay from someone who writes a lot about the liturgical year and liturgical living within the church and stuff. And they're saying something about how like when you look at the liturgical calendar, there just are, as we get towards the end of the liturgical year, there are just more and more amazing feast days, like just piled on top of each other. Like October is an amazing month for feast days. November is as well. And we're just, just like it just gets better and better as we get towards the end. And I think I think there's something there, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah. That is
Just like
interesting. I've never actually thought about
time
that.
as a whole. Yeah, I know. Me neither, until they like this person pointed it out, and I was like, "Whoa, that's so cool! You're so right about that." And so, yeah, my husband and I over here are leaning into that a little bit. We've picked like one feast day per week in the month of October that we're gonna like try to liturgically live. So like we did yesterday for St. John Henry Newman's feast day. We made like a British meat pie for dinner.
Ooh.
It was really good. I think I did the meat a little bit too tough. So I know what to fix for next time, but it was really good. And we have leftovers for tomorrow. I can't remember what the other ones we picked are. I know John Paul II because he's very important to us, but I don't know. Liturgical living is fun. So I don't know. Maybe we can get into a little bit of that later this season about like liturgical living as musicians.
Yeah.
What does that look like when we're really busy? You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So I don't know. Could
Yeah.
be cool to explore.
Definitely. Yeah. I'm really excited to kind of dive into those topics as well. And especially the Christmas episodes. I love talking about kind of self-care as musicians because it's a topic that I'm really passionate about and that I've really had to nearly force myself to kind of learn over the years.
Honestly,
and now, yeah, but now it's something that I just like feel so strongly about and really feel passionately about wanting to help people incorporate that into their lives. So I'm really excited to talk about that. And I am already rehearsing Christmas music for some concerts that we have coming up throughout the month of December with my choir that I sing with. And so I've really kind of been leaning into the Christmas music recently. Our conductor asked us all to send him suggestions for our Christmas repertoire.
Ooh.
And sure, like I've been in choir for so many years, like as soon as he asked that question, my brain was flooded with like all of these options of great Christmas pieces and arrangements that I've done over the years. And so I kind of did a deep dive like earlier this week at work, just looking through all of these like old pieces, some that I haven't touched in years or thought about in years. And my conductor has like very refined, maybe is the right word, taste in choral music. So I was really trying to be intentional about the pieces that I was sending to him. So I was kind of looking at the text and looking at the settings that were available for different pieces and trying to make sure that it was musically interesting. So I spent a lot of time on Christmas music this week, and it has really put me in a kind of a festive mood, which I'm really excited. I'm really excited to talk more about that. And similarly, when we get to the end of this episode, my song for the week will definitely be a Christmas song, and I'm not even sorry about it. It's great.
I love that. That's fun. That's super fun. Yeah, I think this season's going to be a lot of fun, honestly, when all is said and done, which is, I think, will be really good because I feel like maybe the last season or two have been on the heavier side. And it'll be nice to keep things a little more lighthearted around here this season. Not that everything will be lighthearted, but, I think it will be just a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think we do well when we have episodes that it can be more conversational. Because I think we as individuals kind of feed off of each other well when we can just chat and feel like it's just like we're just old pals catching up, having a chat. And so I think
pretty much at this point in life, like this is probably like where we do actually do our catching.
Yeah, sometimes. But I think it works really well for us and what we're trying to do. And I think we get into some really interesting conversations, some really fun conversations. And I think having a more chatty flow to the season is gonna work really well. So I'm very excited.
Wow. I agree. It's gonna be grand. I'm looking forward to it.
So let's talk a little bit about where we've been and what has been happening in the past 9-10 months since we last recorded. And I'm gonna start off this section
I was gonna say you start off because I feel like mine is not actually that much because I mean I had a baby, which is huge, but I feel like you've had a lot more. I don't know.
Do you think? I don't know. Well, what I was gonna start off by saying is I was gonna throw my hands up in the air and say I have to admit that there was a bit of a hiccup at the end of the last season of the podcast that was not my fault personally, but my fault technologically. So I wanted to address that because for those of you who have been kind of following since season 1 or listening maybe to the past couple seasons, all of our seasons are always 10 episodes long. And the last season was 9 episodes long. And the 9th episode was not incredibly conclusive. So anybody with any skills of deduction would probably realize that that was not supposed to be the end of the last season.
Oops.
And it was a bit of a horror show for me at the end of the last season because my computer very ingloriously broke, I think maybe 2 days after we recorded the last season.
Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, it really was on its last legs for a long time there.
Yeah, I mean, my computer I had since 2015.
Yeah.
And it was a MacBook Pro. And, people say, Apple products are not designed to last forever. I drove that computer into the ground and it served me very well for a long time. However, partially I honestly just couldn't afford a new computer. But I think it was maybe 2 days or so after we recorded the last episode that it just died a horrible, horrible death. And it kind of started out with the entire keyboard and the trackpad all just stopped working. And there was nothing we could do to reset it, to get them to work. So I was for a long time carrying a corded mouse and a Bluetooth keyboard around with me all the time, everywhere, to work. When I was traveling, it was quite inconvenient, actually. And then shortly after the podcast, just the hardware in the computer, the actual, I don't know, the word motherboard is in my head, but I don't think that's a technical term. But the actual hardware, maybe hard drive, yeah, but it just gave up. Like suddenly there was no I couldn't like make storage on my computer anymore. I like every single function, whether it was like going on the internet or trying to write an email or editing the podcast, like every single thing I tried to do would just like break my computer and it would like crash. It needed to be rebooted like maybe every 5 minutes when I was like trying to do something. And so I was desperate. I like literally remember panicking. We were traveling around that time back to Chicago for Christmas. And I remember like being super jet lagged and just sitting up for hours and hours and hours, just trying to get my computer just through the last episode of the podcast. Like we had it recorded, it was there, like everything, the material was all there. But like every time I edited it, my computer would crash and burn. And then every time I tried to upload it, I think I tried every day for 10 days in a row. And
that sounds about right.
And I would spend hours a day just sitting on my computer trying to clear things, make things available, open things up, just trying to do anything I could to get it to work and to upload. And literally nothing worked. And then eventually, the computer just like couldn't even turn on. Like it just died a very slow and painful and brutal death. And then all of the edits that I'd made, everything just got lost in the computer crashing constantly. And so it was pretty embarrassing, to be honest. Not very fun at all, quite stressful. And so I actually ended up eventually, this was like several months later, I tried a couple different avenues to get a new computer and I kept running into problems. So I kept trying to use my old one for work, which at the time, the kind of majority of my work involved just sending emails. So I could kind of sort of get through the day just sending emails to people. But then eventually in May, so that's 6 months after we attempted to record and upload the last episode of the last season of the podcast, 6 months later, I finally ended up getting a new old computer. My mom actually got a new computer and she gave me her old one, which was still several years newer than my old computer. And my mom didn't really do any like heavy lifting, so to speak, with her computer. It was all so it was in good shape. Like all the hardware and everything was very much in very good condition. And so now I've been using that laptop since May, and it has been a game changer. Let me tell you, if you need a new computer, do not delay. It ended up creating so many more problems for me than necessary. If I had just like bitten the bullet and maybe saved up like a year or two previous, just put a little bit away for a new computer. But it was a big learning lesson for me. And now we are in a much better place. I have a much more functional computer. And so hopefully, fingers crossed, that will not be happening again.
Yes. And yeah, I'm glad that you have a new computer for multiple reasons.
Yes.
Yeah, the whole death of your computer was absolutely insane. Just like getting the voice note updates about like, oh yeah, now it won't do this. Oh yeah, now it won't do this. Oh, it's done.
Yeah, it was crazy. And it ended up like my boss kind of ended up getting involved as well, because it did get to a point where, I was supposed to be getting on like Zoom meetings and things with clients, and like I couldn't, like my computer wouldn't sustain it. It wouldn't hold a charge at the end there. And so I would my computer would be like dying in the middle of calls with like very important clients who are like bringing us a lot of business, like very bad. And so yeah, it it was a saga. It really was.
It was. But thankfully you have a new computer now.
Yes.
We can record our podcast again.
Woo.
You do your work, which is probably a little more important than the podcast, but yay.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's really been great. And I'm really grateful to my mom for giving me this computer free of charge. Thanks, Mom.
Thank you.
Yes. So yeah, that definitely, it's made all the difference, honestly.
Well, I feel like with my update, it really just like the biggest thing that happened was like, obviously I had a baby and she's now 9 months old, and it's been a crazy 9 months of just, learning how to be a mom and like all of that good stuff. And, but honestly, she's been a very chill baby, which has been really nice because I was very sick for most of my pregnancy. So, and then I ended up having a C-section, a necessary C-section for birth, and that was tough as well, but she's been a chill baby. So that's felt like kind of like a reward, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, she's an absolute delight. She's a little musical baby. She loves listening to music. She loves banging away on the piano. She hated my flute for a long time, which was very sad. I don't know if it was like the overtones or what, but she hated my flute for the longest time until about 4 weeks ago, and I pulled it out again, and she was like, no, this is actually really cool. Play for me more, Mommy. So I'm like, yay, I can play flute again, which is really lovely. So I'm going to start playing at church again, just on a once a month basis, but it'll be nice to get back into that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, we've been kind of just living a chill life over here,
Yeah, getting used to parenthood though, like it's a big adjustment.
It is a big adjustment. I think it would have been maybe a harder adjustment though if she was not a chill baby, because she's a chill baby. Like, we can take her anywhere. I've flown with her twice. She's been on one major road trip, soon to be 2 with Thanksgiving coming up here. We can go on dates and take her along, which is really nice. We can go out to dinner with her. Like, that's been really nice, is that we can pretty much we can just take her places, and like she's just like living her life along for the ride. Now, when she is done with something, like, she will let us know. Like, when she's done, she's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, it takes her a while to reach that point, so that's helpful, which is nice.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, but no, it's been good. It's been a good adjustment, I think. Yeah, I don't know. It's been good. And it's been good to, like, I feel like the last couple months I've been really able to get more into the swing of things. She's settled into her nap, so now we have a better routine. So that means I feel like I can get more other things done outside of like, running the house and taking care of her and, that sort of stuff. And that's been nice for me personally. Just like getting to do things that are not laundry and changing diapers and nursing a baby and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for the soul. It's good for the soul. So, but yeah, that's, kind of where we are. Nothing super dramatic.
And yet, like, the biggest thing that happened to you, like,
yeah, I became a mom. Well, I mean, I was a mom when I was pregnant too, but like, I would joke that that's a very like, it's like very passive parenting when you're pregnant. Until then the baby comes out, and then it's like, now it's very hands-on,
Yeah.
But yeah, she's great. We love her.
Yeah, she's so cute.
She's a joy.
She is such an adorable baby, and I haven't even met her yet, which is crazy.
You need to come visit so you can meet her.
I know. My whole family went out to visit Cecilia and John for spring break, and my entire family met Lucy for me.
Well, they didn't come specifically to visit us, but they were out in like our area.
Yeah, they were in the area, and they visited while they were there.
See you guys. So we had dinner with them, and it was so much fun. But I was like, wow, this is kind of crazy. Like, I'm hanging out with Tara's entire family, and Tara's not here.
I know. Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. These are the things you don't
pictures of just
These are the things you don't think about when you decide to move to another country.
Yes. Well, hopefully you can come back soon. So
Yeah, we'll see. In God's timing,
yes, and God's timing is always best.
Yeah.
Speaking of timing, I think we should probably wrap this episode up and chat quickly about what we are listening to. So take it away, because I know you had something Christmas.
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned, I've been listening to a lot of Christmas music lately to send to the conductor of my choir. And it really brought me back to like all my days, particularly in the choirs that I was in, like in grade school and high school. For some reason, I can hardly remember any choir pieces that I sang in college, which I don't know why that is, but it's just a fact. And it brought back so many fun, amazing memories of pieces that I just loved singing growing up in choir. And so I kind of rediscovered a lot of them recently, and I've really been enjoying listening back to them. One that I think is maybe less generally well known that I just absolutely love is a choral setting of the Mysterium.
Ooh,
and it is by a Canadian composer named Guy Forbes.
Never heard of this setting in my life. And now
Yeah.
I want to listen to it because I love the text of O Mysterium. It's beautiful.
Yeah, precisely. And I really thought, I was hoping anyway, that I would be introducing my conductor to this piece for the first time, but knowing him, he knows everything. So I asked him about it earlier today, actually, and I was like, did you listen to these pieces? And he was like, yeah, I did, but sure, I knew all of them already. And I was like, of course you did. But I am a little bit obsessed with this setting of Omanium. I think it's so beautiful. It's a setting for like treble chorus, like women's choir.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts off, he uses kind of dissonances and some really interesting like harmonic phrasing to really create a sense of mystery, almost like enshrouded in this feeling of etherealness.
Ooh, that's fun.
And then at the end, he kind of really cleverly kind of leads you into this section of just proclaiming the word Alleluia. You know, we've talked about this great mystery of God becoming flesh, and it's all very difficult to wrap your mind around and quite metaphysical and theological and all a bit mysterious and ethereal. And then suddenly he brings you into this Alleluia section, and it's just like triumphant and joyful at the end. And it's
that sounds so fun. I love that.
Yeah, I had completely forgotten how much I loved that piece of music until this week, and it has been such a joy to listen back to. So that is going to be my recommendation for the week for sure. And if anybody out there is programming Christmas music for women's choir, add this into your program. It's such a great piece. O Mysterium by Guy Forbes. He's Canadian. I don't know if he's French Canadian and it's Guy instead of Guy, but I'm just going to say Guy Forbes. So I'm sorry if that's wrong. What about you, Cecilia?
Okay, so actually, I sent this to you, the link to you earlier, this YouTube
Yes.
link. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's a song that I keep seeing like everywhere. It's a singer named RAYE, RAYE. She's British. And it's this song that I kept seeing like clips of it popping up on like Instagram Reels and like stuff like that. And then like my husband had like Sunday football on and there was a game in London and she was like performing at the halftime show this song. And I'm like, hold on, this is like the song that I've been seeing like all over Instagram and stuff. The song is called Where Is My Husband? And I'm been shamelessly over here, happily married with a baby, you know, just like shamelessly listening to this on repeat because it is so catchy. And honestly, it's really good from a musical perspective. It's like a good song, you know, which is hard to say about a lot of music that is like really popular nowadays. But it's like actually good musically. It's very good rhythmically. It's a lot of fun to listen to. Absolute banger. I would not recommend listening to a lot of her other music because it's very explicit and uses a lot of curse words and stuff. Fair warning out there. This one really doesn't though, and it's just I don't know. I've been thinking because I've been listening to it on repeat, and so obviously the lyrics are all stuck in my head, and I'm like, I don't know. I feel like it's very like much a cultural commentary on like how things are kind of swinging back a bit more towards like, you know, desiring marriage is a good thing and stuff like that. I will say like there's like in the music video, because I watched the music video once, and there's like a missing piece almost to the song that's in the music video for like visually, like a message that I think is really important. But I'll let y'all figure that one out on your own.
Interesting. I'm intrigued.
So, I am very tempted I have a Substack now, and I'm very tempted to go write an essay on it because I think there's a lot of cultural commentary in this song that's very interesting to me. But regardless of all of that, it's just like a really catchy song and it's really fun. And if you like have a bunch of cleaning or laundry folding to do or like whatever, put it on repeat. It's very fun. So there's my recommendation for y'all.
Epic.
There's my husband.
Amazing.
All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up there. Looking forward to our next 2 episodes with our 2-parter on All Hallows Tide. It's going to be super fun. A little bit spooky in, you know, the good Catholic way. Not, you know, some really super dark way. Don't worry. We keep it Catholic over here.
Yes, we do.
But we're really looking forward to that. And yeah, we will see you guys next week. So God bless.
God bless. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Little Sparks podcast. For more information on this podcast and our ministry, please visit www.thehildegardcollective.com.